Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unscripted Access, episode number 108. You're here with your host, Nick McCandless. On this week's show, we have Anthony Ta
Hello.
and Bronson Fiore.
We beat Flower on our extra live stream, and for some reason that attracted a lot of people. I don't know why.
All right, so we are back. Sorry we have not had an episode in forever. Big part of it because just playing for Extra Life, and then Bronson and Anthony and John, pretty much everyone but myself and Kyrie were preparing for SNAFU Con panel, which is on the website right now.
And the Halloween special and new releases are coming out, so we try and stay somewhat current on new releases because Game of the Year awards happen, and we want to be able to talk about most things. So
yeah, we got Halo Master Chief Collection. We've got preview footage on thegameranx.com, so be sure to check that out. Thank you to Microsoft for getting us that game. Was it 3 weeks early? About 3 weeks early?
Yeah, it comes out the 11th of November.
Yeah, so shout out to Microsoft for that. Very much appreciated, and they're getting the content for doing that. If every company set us games not every company, because if it got to the point where we got every game 3 weeks early, then we just have
we don't
way too much work to do.
We don't.
But if we got maybe a game a month, 3 months or 3 weeks early, we could do a lot more.
That sounds like the limit right there. Because it depends on the game too. Because it's like if you're talking about Drive Club, I played that game for maybe about 4 or 5 days and made the review in one weekend. That's fine. But then if you were to say I got like the next Dragon Age Inquisition, that stuff would probably take me about a week or two to like reasonably put out a good video review or something.
Right.
That's like the reference. Like racing games are pretty easy.
Well, yeah, because it's racing. There's not a story to it.
Yeah, like
well,
Halo.
Generally,
yeah.
I should say. Generally,
Halo,
there's not a story.
If they had the multiplayer in it right now, which is a preview build, so it doesn't have that yet. But if they had it, like I'd be able to review it pretty quickly. Like that's, that's.
Because you know what the game is.
Yeah,
remakes you can do really quick. Cause if you've played the game before, it's not much has changed.
I am astounded how much I actually have of Halo 2 memorized. Well, let's see, what else is there? Trying to think.
While you think of that, thank you everyone who came to our Extra Life stream. It was a success. We exceeded our goal of $1,000. We ended up raising over $1,500. Was it?
Thank you to those of you who came to the SNAFU panel. That was a fun day overall.
I watched that. I'm just like, I felt so bad for Bremen. Bremen had everything on him. Like, I just felt so bad for him. But
well, I mean, yeah, like.
It was funny though.
Yeah,
did that guy who bid for a date, did he actually donate?
He will be. We actually know him personally. So yeah, he goes to game night at our friend Roey's place every week with us. So like we're gonna that's gonna happen. We'll tell you how their date goes, by the way.
I would love to hear that.
I actually knew a couple of girls in the audience who I'm friends with who were like, if you guys would have been more specific on what the date entailed, we would have bid on him. So now we know next time that we need
I just want to say, I mean, not that I was lurking or anything, but when I was watching the panel, and then there was like at the end, the camera guy was kind of showing some of the audience. There was an Asian chick there that I was just like, damn, she's kind of hot. I was
Which one?
I can't remember what she was wearing, but she's pretty freaking hot.
Okay.
Yeah, if you watch, you might be able to pick her out. If you watch just towards the end, there's an Asian girl. From the camera view, she's on the left side. She's sitting And,
is she in the front row? The very
no,
front
she wasn't.
row?
No. She was a couple
I think I know
rows
what you
back.
mean.
Yeah, I was like, damn. If I was doing that panel, I'm just joking.
Your girlfriend hears that she's gonna be very upset.
I'm just joking, but
and later that night, Nick, later that night.
And news for TGA, TGA's first kid will be coming in 8 months. I'll have a little McFreshie running around.
Oh god.
Half Asian, half white. Let me stop.
Oh god.
Oh, we are on the podcast. I'm talking like we aren't even recording right now.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, I hope that's not a viewer. Oh my god.
This is
if you are a viewer and you think I'm talking about you, I am not, even though I probably am. I deeply apologize. But if you want to get in touch with me, you can email me at admin@thegameraccess.com. But
oh my god, your girlfriend.
Anyways,
she's gonna fucking murder you.
Let's move along here. God, I seriously forgot we were recording. Oh my god.
This is like the fucking game.
I'm like sitting here and I'm like, what?
No, I seriously just forgot we were recording. Like, oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, thank you everyone for showing up to our extra live stream, to the panel. We will be streaming more. Look out for a post. It should be up by the time this podcast goes up. Bronson will be streaming for an hour or so of the Master Chief Collection. So if the 60-minute access series was not enough to fulfill your needs, Bronson will be streaming.
Yeah, there's 3 other levels that I'm allowed to show you that we only showed like the first 5 minutes of each.
And then I think we should, Bronson, archive that so we can post it up on the site afterwards.
Yeah, we archive everything. That's why before Extra Life I told everyone, please make sure you make archiving is checked. Please make sure, I made sure to tell everyone, please make sure archiving is checked.
It's more like a button in the account settings on Twitch.tv, which I checked and it was already checked there.
Okay,
the only problem is that there's maybe about 8 or 15...
On the Xbox One, it's a button on the start of it, or it used to be. I don't know if it is now.
Yeah, by default, Twitch already does that, or at least in the account settings. The problem is that there was maybe about 8 or 15 different 15-second videos, because I'm like, why can't I see the feed? But it's actually recording in the background, so there's a bit of junk in there.
I want to talk about this one real quick, as long as we're talking about the Extra Life feed. The PlayStation camera is the biggest piece of fucking garbage ever.
Oh yeah, trust me. When I started, I have a PlayStation camera. Why I got it, I don't know. I just got it because I thought I'd be live streaming a lot more, and I want to start live streaming more. It's just hard to actually schedule something and make sure that I'm there. But yeah, it's so bad. The quality of it sucks.
It's not the quality, it's the fact that why can't I set it to film my whole room? So, for those of you who watched my portion of the stream, you'll notice the camera is on Tori pretty much 90% of the evening. A little bit on Stephanie, a little bit on me, but most of the evening it's on Tori. And the reason is because it even though it sees the whole room, when you're live streaming, it only focuses on the face of one person.
Does Xbox do the whole room?
It can. I know it can, because I've watched...
Well, yeah, it can. What I did, though, is you can set it up to where it zooms in on your face.
Yeah, I make sure it does the full room, but that's also because we had 3 people fucking streaming. So,
right.
I was so just pissed off when I found out about the PlayStation camera. Because we borrowed Bremen's. I didn't own one. I still don't. I'm going to buy one to live stream eventually, but, for now, I'll just live stream on Xbox. But anyway, I was very pissed off at that. I just could not believe it. I was like, why can't we do the whole room? There's 3 of us here. Oh, well, everyone enjoys staring at Tori creepily. No, I was actually relatively proud of our audience, because it took 6 hours until we got one, creepy comment towards Tori or Stephanie.
What was the creepy comment?
hey, sexy lady. and then later in the day, the dude posts something else that was like we didn't understand, and then we never heard from him again. Also, I'm telling you this right now. Next year, someone else is doing Graveyard. I'm telling you right fucking now. Someone else, anyone else. Oh my god. Honestly, it probably should be John and Bremen since they both work Graveyard.
That's actually not a bad idea. They're used to it.
Yeah, because what I had to do is I had to be at work at 7 in the morning that day. So that means I got about 5 hours of sleep the night before. Which is like, okay, that's not too awful. But then I had the live stream, and then I had to get ready for work, and then after work I had some stuff to take care of at SNAFU Con, plus I promised a friend I'd be there with her. So, yeah. My ass was... I got basically... After... in a 48-hour period of time, I got a grand total of 6 hours of sleep. So yeah, I was very, very fucking tired. And at work, I was pretty much useless. Sundays at my job are really easy. It's the one day they let up on us and you're like, fuck it, just make sure you're putting in the right numbers, basically. You can wear sweatpants, you can kind of relax for the most part, and because the supervisors, they don't want to be there either. And I was so, and also we did really well, so we got out an hour early. But that 3 hours, I was fucking dying. I was like, oh my god. And then I was so happy that the friend I was going to SNAFU with had to take an hour and a half to do the makeup for her cosplay, because that hour nap is what kept me up during the rest of SNAFU-Con that day. And even then, by the end of it, I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna follow you guys and work the camera for the pictures. I'm so dead. So done.
I think John did really good at hosting it. I think he's really good with people.
He did a really good job. I definitely want to do 2 hosts on panels from now on because of him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's really easy to play off of. Though we do definitely need to work on having a flow with 2 hosts. Though it didn't help that our plan was fucked because we couldn't get internet. We had a plan to we had a bunch of stuff planned, and then almost all of it backfired at the last possible second. Gift cards didn't show up on time, so now I have a bunch of gift cards from work that are just fucking useless.
It was kind of interesting too, because we went through the whole effort of driving all the way one to their meetings to say, "Hey, here's what we need," and then panel day happened. None of it was there. I mean, there was one functional microphone. The other one was unplugged. And I'm like, you know what? This room is small enough that we can actually shout over it, so let's just do that.
Next year, I'm asking that we get put on the main stage. Next year, I'm asking we get put on the main stage. We are popular enough, we are big enough, we get enough traffic, and we're entertaining enough. I'm asking for the main stage next year. And if it means we have to end up with some time slot like 9 in the morning, I'll take it. Because we weren't going to get an evening time slot on a Friday and the main stage. That just wasn't going to happen. And we also thought it was going to be like Game Expo, where the main stage didn't have as big of a focus. But turns out we were wrong. In fact, everyone focuses on the main stage. Fucking everyone. So, now that we know what SNAFU is all about, we'll be able to plan for it better next year. But considering it was our first SNAFU, and everything that went wrong could go wrong, Murphy fucked us up real hard.
Well, you know what SNAFU, the regular term, means, right?
Sierra Nevada Anime Fans Unite. Oh, yeah.
No. SNAFU, like SNAFU. The military.
Yeah.
Situation normal. All fucked up. So for me, what pretty much kind of fits into SNAFU Con is basically for us, we just had a lot of snafus that day. I mean, everything worked. Things were normal-ish. It was just everything was screwed.
Yeah. So, we'll be definitely better prepared next year. It'll because we'll be able to actually be prepared to not have internet, be prepared to.
That's why you just print the questions out beforehand.
Yeah. Well, I did. I thought, GSR.
See, well, the problem is that it was kind of in the underground or bottom floor mall area of the Grand Sierra, which is fine. You could get cell phone signal there. It's just that the moment you start walking to the panels, which were in this obscure little corner that no one's going to ever notice, your cell phone signal is completely gone. Somehow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That was less than desirable, but I thought it went pretty well. I know that before next year happens, we're gonna brush Anthony up on some anime.
The whole place nearly went on a riot, so that was.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That fucking ending was on par with the shit I've seen at PAX. So, next year we need to get our prizes to all the winners. If you're one of the winners and you're watching this, don't worry, we haven't forgotten. I just need to talk to our 2 artists who are making custom pictures. I need to get paid this week so I can pay for that one person's Humble Bundle. But don't worry, we're getting everything together. It's just going to take us a little bit. Next year we will also have gift cards because my boss tells me, I'll give the gift cards to so and so who's running the booth. I go to the booth. I don't have them. Blank has them, who's running this other booth who isn't here right now. And won't be here until your panel's over. Super. So, like I said, I thought it went really well. We do need to catch Anthony up on some anime. We'll find some shows he likes. Like I
said, I think the only anime that I ever randomly watched on Netflix and finished a whole season of was Claymore. That was it.
You like MMORPGs, so I'd recommend Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
And I would also recommend Death Note. Pretty much everyone I know fucking loves Death Note. Kyrie loves Death Note. Brevin loves Death Note. I rewatched Death Note for the first time since high school this year, and I like 90% of Death Note. Also, at the con, me and my friend Ray became the free hug guys. If you've ever been to a convention, you've probably seen these people.
Yeah.
They put signs on that say free hugs and walk around, and anybody who wants a hug, they give them a hug.
How many free hugs did you give?
Throughout the weekend, I think I gave 35. Ray gave something like 40-something. So
that's pretty interesting, considering Ray had the sad bear face for a sign.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had the top of the bear, the top of the bear head. I had the bottom. So his looked far more appealing than mine.
The fact that you still have 35 hugs and he only has 40 is pretty darn good.
Yeah, we had fun doing that. Overall, good weekend. I know that for those of you who have watched Death Note, Ray and I met someone cosplaying as L who followed us around for half an hour. He's like, I'm gonna follow you guys. And we're like, okay, sure. And we hung out with L from Death Note. For those of you who live in Northern Nevada, California, go to SNAFU. Fun, lots of video games. Also, I was super, super fucking mad that I had work Saturday. I was so mad. You wanna know why? I missed a Killer Instinct tournament. I was so butthurt when I found that out. I was so unbelievably mad that it was blackout season at my job when that happened. But I talk to the guys who run Greenlight Gaming and the tournaments. I'm like, hey, why were you this afternoon? I was like, was at work. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Killer Instinct tournament. I'm like, what? No. They're like, yeah. I'm like, damn it.
That sucks.
Yeah, but it was fun. Played a lot of Persona Ultimax, which was absolutely hilarious. Like, my friend Greg and I had some amazing matches. The thing I like about Persona Ultimax as a fighting game is it actually, like, it's not super hard to learn. And even a beginner can keep up with someone who's good once they learn the controls and how to do specials. So, like, that's something I really like about that game. It's the same reason I love Dive Kick. Like, the reason Dive Kick is so amazing is because it's a game that it's really good competitively. It has this high level competitive play, but anyone can pick it up and enjoy it and still stand a chance. So,
right.
Anyway, we should talk about news.
Yeah, we should talk about the news. And the biggest news this week, and when I heard it, I was like, say what? Microsoft, for the holidays, is dropping down the price of their Xbox One bundles to $350. This applies to every bundle that's currently out, along with the Assassin's Creed bundle coming out. The only bundle this does not apply to, the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare bundle. Microsoft is going balls out this holiday season.
Well, Anthony and I speculated that this is like their way of saying, is there any way that can we outsell the PS4? Is there any way we can do it?
I honestly think they will.
Yeah, like, you think about it, it's like...
They have the better holiday lineup. They have Halo the Master Chief Collection, Sunset Overdrive, which people are raving about. Sony, you have Drive Club, which has only been getting negative publicity because of the servers. And we have Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet could be great. But with the Xbox One, with the PlayStation 4, $400 gets you a console with no games. Yes, there's a Destiny bundle, but that's $450. Xbox One, $350. So you're saving you're saving $50. You get an Xbox One and you get a game. So for the same price,
possibly two, depending on the bundle.
Yeah. So for the same price, so $400, obviously taxes and everything. PlayStation 4, $400 gets you a PlayStation 4. That's it. Xbox One, it gets you two somewhat older games or one brand new game and an additional brand new game.
Or controller, or whatever it is you want.
For the same price.
Well, like, the thing is like, if I'm a parent, right? Like, if I'm a parent or I'm a kid, think back to when you had to sell your parents on getting you your first game console. Like, okay, cheaper was better, and the fact that you could tell them, hey, this comes with a game or two, and not only does it come with a game or two, it does all this cool media stuff. Because, I mean, like, I've shown my mom some of the media features with the Xbox One, and she's like, oh, that's really neat. Like, that's really cool. I'd actually use that. And this, I think, is going to sell really well to parents. Because, I mean, Assassin's Creed Unity is the new one, right?
Yes.
So you get Unity, you get Assassin's Creed Unity, you get Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which in my opinion is the best Assassin's Creed so far, and you will have $50 extra to spend towards whatever the hell you want. It could be the Master Chief Collection, it could be an extra controller, it could be Sunset Overdrive, and all the multi-plats are out on Xbox One, so you'll get Grand Theft Auto and Far Cry and COD and all that stuff. So
yeah. The only exclusives you're losing out that releases holiday season are Drive Club, which is already out, and Little Big Planet 3. I think that not only is it going to sell to the parents, but it's going to sell to people on the fence. Do I need a PlayStation 4? Do I want a PlayStation 4, Xbox One? The exclusives to me are even. I want to get a new console this year. Which one do I want to get? Like, if you were stuck between the two, like if you weren't favoring the PlayStation 4 or favoring the Xbox One, I don't see how you could go with the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One. Like, obviously, if you're all about the PlayStation 4 exclusives, you're going to go with the PlayStation 4. But if you're kind of, which one do I want? This whole thought process has just been changed because.
Well, there's also the Madden and Forza bundles. Sorry.
Well, yeah. So you pretty much take your, obviously there's taxes. You take your $400 to the store. You're gonna get yourself 2 to 3 games with your Xbox One. Whereas PlayStation 4, you're walking out with just the console.
I mean, and let's also talk about this from the parent standpoint of, let's say you're getting it for the family. Like, it's not an only child. You're in a case where my cousin, she has 2 brothers. Okay, well, that $50 extra, there's an extra controller. You know, right there. Like, okay, let's say I'm a parent. I'm willing to spend about $500 for Christmas on, you know, the fun stuff. We'll get the Xbox One. We'll get Halo and 2 extra controllers. You know, like that would, like, that's the equivalent there versus the PS4 where you get the PS4, one extra controller and a game. Like, instead of 2 games or 3 or whatever the amount of games is. Like that. And then you talk about, like you said, people on the fence. And then,
especially if you're an Assassin's Creed fan. Yeah, I mean, that's just absolutely crazy. You get the brand new Assassin's Creed, you get the last Assassin's Creed, and you get an Xbox One for $350. Like, that's crazy. Like, you know Microsoft's losing hella money on these things.
Like, you know, like, Sunset Overdrive bundle looks good. There's the Titanfall bundle if you can still find them. You know, like that. Like, they put out a lot of bundles, so this applies to a lot of different options out there. Like, you know,
I'm surprised we haven't seen a new bundle from Sony. I mean, I don't expect them to drop the price, but
they're not going to drop the price until they're being outsold.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is one of the things that Bronson. Yeah, which is
I'm
one of
just
the
surprised we don't. I'm just surprised we don't see like a Little Big Planet bundle or a freaking a Far Cry bundle.
Well, I mean, in the UK, like, the PlayStation 4 has gotten like 2 or 3 bundles already. It's got
UK always gets the good bundles, always.
Yeah, that's because they pay probably like twice as much for consoles, though. We're kind of forgetting that.
But here's the thing, though. Just like, Sony's not going to lower the price of the PS4 because they're still selling more than just about anything else. But the thing that got me and Bronson kind of excited about this is that if Microsoft manages to, say, outsell the PS4 for about 2 or 3 weeks with $350 Xbox One bundles,
especially during Black Friday,
this could start a price war. And when price wars happen, it's awesome because the consumer is very happy. So, that's what I'm stoked about. And to be honest, a $350 Xbox One, when I read it, I was like, I don't really need a graphics card for my computer. I can run a 550 Ti for the rest of this system's life.
I mean, Anthony, if you just drop a 750 in your machine, that's going to be a big improvement.
Like, yeah, the 750 is twice as fast, or 750 Ti. That's the important one.
Yeah, not the 750.
The 750 is okay, but it's not that huge of a deal. But the 750 Ti, it gives. So I have a 550 Ti. The 750 Ti gives you twice the performance at half the power consumption. That's how awesome it is. And it costs like $180.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, if you want to put a new graphics card in that thing and save some cash, that's the route I'd go.
Yeah, like, that's great. It's just that you still can't run Final Fantasy XIV on max settings at 60 frames per second.
God damn it.
Honestly, it's a nice improvement, but it doesn't exactly give you much future-proofing still. But that's the price you pay for going for a lower mid-range card.
I know that as I've talked to you yesterday, I'm probably not going to buy my new machine or build a machine for another 2 to 3 years. This laptop's in good enough shape. It's running games on max at 30 to 60, depending on the game. I mean, like, and what do I play on my PC mostly anyway? Blizzard games, which will run on fucking anything, and indie games. So I'm not exactly maxing out my PC too much. Outside of, like, Battlefield.
Honestly, I think it's better for me to wait for the 950 Ti. They have the 900 series out already, and those things takes up so little electricity, it blows your mind away.
We actually just put a new. We just did a new configuration at Moondog with a 980.
Those things save so little electricity. It's like those things use so little electricity. You're like, wow.
Yeah. But as I was saying, this is really compelling though. Like this makes what we all thought was gonna be like, okay, well, Microsoft will do all right. They have the better lineup. To like Microsoft just single-handedly in one move they gave themselves the advantage for the holiday. Not for the full cycle, because I think PlayStation's lineup for next year is definitely better. Not for, they're still going to get the worst end of multi-plats, and PlayStation Plus, in my opinion, is still a better value than Live, especially if it's $10 cheaper. But Microsoft has the advertising, in my opinion, that Sony doesn't have. They have a better media box, and now they're cheaper and able to appeal to parents, people on the fence. This is going to be a very good holiday for them. Because, let's say you haven't bought a console yet, $400 can get you an Xbox with Sunset Overdrive and Halo. The two big Xbox games of the holiday, or two of the big ones. And the Sunset Overdrive bundle also comes with Dance Central. So, no. The Sunset Overdrive bundle that has a Kinect comes with Dance Central. So that one's still, expensive. But still, that's still, I'm glad to see this. Anthony and I have had this discussion. We love price wars. I want to see this be competitive. I don't want to see, because we saw what happened during the PS2 era. The PS2 was a great console, but Sony got very complacent. Everyone got very complacent because it was like, well, we're never going to catch PS2, so just put out games and we'll be all right. Yeah, there'll be great games, but how long was the PS2 $150, right? How long? 4 years. Same thing last time around. How long was the Xbox 360 $400? Because PlayStation just could not drop price. How long? This time around, this is $350 and they decide to permanently
you think about that. I understand it came with the Kinect. But it's just crazy to think that the console hasn't even been out for a year yet, and it's went from $500 down to $350 with a brand new game in a matter of a year.
Well, when you think about it, with Sony just literally breaking sales records just so easily right now, it's kind of like, okay, well, let's just
I'm gonna tell you what Sony's gonna do. They're not gonna drop the price, but they are gonna have Black Friday bundles. At Best Buy, it'll be PlayStation 4 with, I don't know, some popular game, and it'll be $400. So you'll pretty much have the choice between
PlayStation or Last of Us, so Sony gets the cost. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, or Little Big Planet, when's Little Big Planet come out?
The week before Black Friday.
Yeah, so I would not be surprised to see a little bit. Because here's the thing. If Sony does nothing, and all it is PlayStation 4s for $400, I will go on the record to say I think Microsoft will beat them this holiday season. Just because of the standpoint that they have the better lineup this holiday season, and they have the better pricing, and they have the bundles. However, if Sony matches them in that, not the price, Sony will not drop the price, but they do bundles for $400 to where, okay, I can get the PlayStation 4 for just $50 more. I then think that PlayStation 4, it'll be close, but I still think the PlayStation 4 will do better just because what mainly sells consoles is where your friends are at. That's why people bought the 360. I knew so many people who just crapped on the Xbox, and they're like, oh, I'm going to get the PlayStation 3. But then all their friends got the Xbox 360, so okay, I'm going to get the Xbox 360. So I definitely think it's going to be a very interesting holiday season. It just, Sony needs to do something. They need to, like I said, they need to come out with a bundle for... But here's the thing, though. We all know Sony's not going to do what Microsoft... What Microsoft has done, which is very solid, is they aren't offering just one or two bundles. They're offering a plethora of bundles to attract anyone. Really, they have a bundle for any game you would want to buy an Xbox One for, yeah.
They have racing, shooting, action, adventure, and also I think that right now the Xbox One has the better lineup of exclusives as a whole. Like from when they launched the last year to now, like the Xbox One has a better lineup of exclusives.
Yeah, but it's very close. It's arguable.
It is very close.
But I mean, it's not like you compare like PS3 to 360. Like I don't care who you are, no one can tell me that the PlayStation 3, that the 360 had a better exclusive lineup than the PS3. There was no comparison whatsoever.
Those first 2 years though, it was the other way around for sure, dude.
Oh, absolutely, that was awful. Yeah, and that's why I think we're going to see with the PlayStation 4. It's like. The PlayStation 4, yeah, we've had Infamous, we had Killzone. I think Drive Club's a good game. Yes, they've had their server issues, but it's a good game. But Sony's got 2 big titles coming out in February that are either going to be huge successes or huge letdowns, and that's the Order 1886 and Bloodborne. If they could knock it out of the park and both of those games be solid 8.5s or above, the only reason why I'm entering review scores is, unfortunately, we live in an industry where review scores pretty much control how well a game does. Destiny is an exception because reviews didn't pour out until after the game released, and when you got hundreds of millions in marketing, you could sell crap if you wanted to. So yeah, Sony's got 2 potentially huge titles coming out in February. And, I mean, Sony has a lot to prove there. Order 1886 looks amazing. I mean, graphics, it's unbelievable. I played at E3, and there's things they needed to tweak. And they've had plenty of time to do so. I'm glad they didn't rush the game out because it was originally supposed to be out this year. And then Bloodborne looks freaking amazing. It looks really, really good. So, yeah, I hope those games do well. And they're not disappointments.
I mean, like, Microsoft into next year has Scalebound and Phantom Dust, and I believe Crackdown. I'm very interested to see what Microsoft goes with for exclusives.
I think we're going to see a new Gears of War next year.
I think we're going
next year. I think we're going to see a Gears of War.
Halo 5 is obviously next holiday. Halo 5 is next holiday for sure. Then you know. They have Forza 6. Rare has been teasing an action-adventure game recently, so, I mean, that could be a thing, I guess.
I mean, we got a new game Guerrilla Games is working on, supposedly this, like, big MMORPG, so I'm sure we'll hear about that next year. Sony Santa Monica has to be working on something. I mean, they haven't released anything on the PlayStation 4 yet, and they haven't even said anything about what they've been working on. So, Santa Monica has to be working on something. I hope it's a God of War.
Here's the thing: kids, and the average people don't think of the titles in the future. They think of what games are out now.
Oh, absolutely.
And they have the stronger holiday. I think Microsoft overall had the stronger year. You know, but. I think Microsoft overall had the stronger year and stronger launch last year. I think last year, the launch, in my opinion, Xbox One had a way better launch as far as games go.
But the big thing, though, is the fact that, and like I said, we saw it with the 360. Kids want to get what their friends have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with the PlayStation 4 dominating, there's going to be a lot of sales, not because necessarily the PlayStation 4 is the better console for that person, but just because their friends have the PlayStation 4. So that's what I'm saying. If Sony does nothing, I think it will still be close, but I do think the Xbox One will slightly outsell it. If Sony does a bundle or two with a big game for $400, I think Sony will slightly win. And of course, if Sony just did what Microsoft did, then Sony would obviously blow them out of the water, but that's not going to happen. So,
I mean, yeah, like it's.
If Sony came out and said Destiny bundle $350, Far Cry bundle $350, like I mean, at that point, it's like that kind of takes away what Microsoft did, but I don't think we're gonna see that.
I mean,
Sony is way too proud, and I mean, to be honest, if I was Sony, I wouldn't do it either. I wouldn't drop the price on my console. I still, you're out. Yes, you can find them on store shelves, but I am selling whatever I send to the stores. pretty fast.
I mean, what's the best way I can put this? Like, right now, it's still early enough in the life cycle, though, to where Friends will be an impact, but not as big much of an impact as it would be late. Like, when we're at 10 million PS4s, which is a significant amount, no doubt, but it's still not that point where it's like,
oh, it's way past 10 million, because 10 million was announced a long time ago.
They're at like 12 or 13 million right now.
Yeah, there's probably
So,
I think there's more than double the amount of PlayStation 4s as Xbox Ones, right?
Yeah,
pretty sure. I think when Sony announced that there was 10 million PlayStation 4s, Xbox One was at like 4 point something. I might be wrong, but
it's very interesting to think of where this can go. I actually really do hope Microsoft catches up. I will say I hope Microsoft stays in second place, though, because a hungry Microsoft is better overall for gamers and games.
Yeah, I want to keep Sony on their toes, too.
Yeah, like, I mean, you look at
competition is such a wonderful thing.
I mean, look at the PlayStation 3. Look at the games that came out for the PlayStation 3 because of the competition. Like, PlayStation 3 had so many amazing games.
I mean, look at look at the original Xbox, how much they pushed the online and pushed so many features that we wouldn't have without the original Xbox, and ended up being great for the game industry because of it.
Yeah, if it weren't for Microsoft, we'd be lucky if the PlayStation 4 was as good as the PlayStation 3 network was.
Yeah, I mean, original Xbox Live was so fucking ahead of its time. Like, so ahead of its time.
The Xbox was ahead in pretty much everything.
The original Xbox is one of the most underrated systems ever, because I think it had some really underrated exclusives. I thought Phantom Dust was really good. I thought that the Mech Assault games were great.
The one exclusive I thought was very underrated. I know some people hated the game. I freaking loved Brute Force. That game was so much fun.
Yeah, I thought that game was pretty solid. I still laugh at it because it was kind of generic, but it was a good game. I thought that I really liked Knights Old Republic was really good on that system. I really liked Jade Empire, that BioWare game. Generally, there was a lot of really good stuff on that system. And then, as far as that was the system to play multiplats that generation. I mean, if you were playing multiplats, there is no reason you should have been playing on PS2 if you had an Xbox. Games just looked better. Some games ran in HD, which is crazy to think, but it did.
Yeah, just to give you an idea of how ahead of time it is, that's like a console running 4K right now. It was way ahead of its time. Yeah, which I think the next consoles will run 4K, but the next consoles have to do 4K. You're talking about the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One have been out for about a year, so they'll be around for another 6 years. So you're talking about 2020. We'll probably have the new consoles about, and by then, I'd say, pretty much most people have a 4K TV by then. So, yeah. But I remember when the PlayStation 3 came out. That's when HD had been around, but it was still really, really new.
I remember we got our first HD TV in 2003. My dad, was a real early adopter of HD. And it was a 1080p, 65-inch just monstrosity.
Yeah, that's how our first, my mom got my dad, I think it was an anniversary present. It was like a 58-inch television that probably weighed 2,000 pounds. It had wheels.
This thing took up an entire goddamn wall of our living room. Had these massive built-in speakers, and it was a goddamn awesome TV.
That's the one thing good about the older televisions is with those, almost did not need a sound system because the speakers in them were so good.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like just to give you an idea, like how pricing the TVs went. I remember the PlayStation 3 came out. That I bought the PlayStation 3 with money I saved up. But then my big Christmas present was a television. I got a 32-inch. It was like a no-name brand TV. So you're talking about a 32-inch that pretty much almost lowest of the low as far as quality goes. It was $500.
I know.
Now look what you can get at $500 as far as a TV.
I mean, I've been TV shopping, right? Because mine's a 2008 set, and it's starting to feel a little dated, right? And I claimed 0 on my taxes this year, so my return is going to be fucking insane. And I've been kind of pricing TVs, and you can get amazing quality Samsungs for like $500, $600. So what I'm planning to do is sell this one to a buddy of mine, and they're 50 inches, by the way. 50, 55 inches. I'm planning to sell this to a buddy of mine, and then for like $250, and then buy that thing heavily discounted.
With me, with TVs, I'm kind of the exception. I'm the one who, like, if I'm buying a TV, I go all out because I can see the difference between, let's say you're looking at a 46-inch television, I can tell the difference between a 2000 Sony top-of-the-line LED versus, let's say, a Sony 46-inch mid-low-range LCD. So, for example, my 46-inch Sony, I spent almost $2,000, and this is when I first moved out here, so it's about 2 years ago. I bought this set. It's a 46-inch Sony LED. It was about $2,000. I could have gotten the same size TV, even an LED, and from Sony for half the price. But the reason why I went with this one is because, like I said, it's the top of the line, and when I'm playing my games, I like to know that when I'm playing, it can't really look any better than this. It's like when I go to conventions and play the game, it's funny because you would think that to E3 and stuff like that, companies would have the best sets
not at all.
To make their games look the best, but that's not the case at all, because I'll play a game at E3 and be like, this game doesn't look that good, or I'll play a game at a convention that I already have and I'm like, this game does not look that good here. But I go home, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Or sometimes I'll take my PlayStation 4 to my girlfriend, and she has a Samsung 720p plasma 50-inch, basic 50-inch plasma you could get for $500 or whatever. And I go there and I play my PlayStation 4 and my games just look so bad. I mean, of course, if that's all I was used to, then that'd be different. But then I come back and play it on my TV and it's just wow, did this get this just got a huge graphics boost.
So I have it is a 50-inch 2008 Sony. It's Sony's weird in-house version of DLP, where it's not
the Trinitron. Is that what it's called?
I have no fucking idea. But it's their weird version of DLP that's this fucking mirrors and shit. And I also have that PlayStation TV that came out 3 years ago. That was their big way to sell 3D and was supposed to be a dorm room TV. And that thing is 240 hertz. It's 1080p. It's a fucking OLED screen. It's goddamn amazing. It's 24 inches, so. And yeah, I definitely noticed the quality difference for sure. So that's why I'm looking right now. The one I was looking at for personal use was a 50-inch Samsung for $500. So for me, it'll be $250 after I sell my current set. And it's 120 hertz, 1080p, smart TV, does all that crap. Has basically has all the good stuff I want. And the funny thing is Anthony, you want to know what the number one thing I'm excited for about? For
the number one thing you're excited for what?
About a new TV?
It's not so dim?
No. More than 2 HDMI ports. I have 2.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 HDMI ports, and
one of them sucks. Yeah, mine has 4.
One of them is dedicated to the Wii U specifically because it's in the entertainment system, and I don't want to have to take it out. So the Wii U is always plugged in. So I need to alternate the cable between the PS3, the PS4, and the Xbox One. And then when I have the 360 set up, I have it hooked up via component. Because, quite frankly, most of those games run at 720p anyway, so upscaling them to 1080 doesn't really make them look that much better.
I use 3 of the 4. I have my PlayStation 4, my Xbox One, and then my PC runs HDMI. Which I haven't even turned my PC on in freaking probably 6-7 months.
I don't really, I just game on the laptop monitor on my PC, or I use the 24-inch in the living room.
I used to game on my PC a little bit at the end of last generation, like Borderlands. I played that on my PC. But it's just, as the new consoles came out, yes, some games there's a difference, but I would just rather get it on the console.
For me, it just depends on sale and what type of game it is. Like Diablo, I'm playing on a PC. I don't fucking care. That's the type of game I'm just never, ever, 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 ever gonna play on a goddamn console. On the other end of that, though, on the other end of that, I will probably be playing games like The Witcher on my PlayStation. So, I think that it really depends on the game. Like, I want to play games like Hearthstone. Like, if Hearthstone had a console version, I'd never play it. Because I like having
Hearthstone's coming to iOS.
That's the whole... That you do realize, like, that is one of the 2 reasons I am getting an iPad mini. It is one of the 2 reasons. The other reason is so I can read my books. Because everybody knows I have an ever-growing collection of books. I like to read. I like books. Books are great. Read, kids. Read, goddammit.
I like Audible.
Audible.
They did not pay me for that promotion, just saying.
They pay so many people in our position to.
Yeah, I know. It's like so many podcasts brought to you by Audible. Go to audible.com/.
My favorite podcast is sponsored by Squarespace, I believe.
Oh, Squarespace is another one. And the other one...
Dollar Shave Club. Yep.
Yes, the Shave one. Yeah, the Shave one, Squarespace, and Audible.
Those are the ones, yep.
Another big one is, it's a web company. It's like they have... It's pretty much if you want to start a website...
Yeah, that's Squarespace.
Squarespace. Yeah,
that's the one that runs on the Bombcast every week. Every week. One thing I can say about Giant Bob's ad that I just absolutely adore is they play up a comedy act with it, and it still gets the ad across. So that's good. Yeah, man. I don't know, like that. There's. But I like reading, like I was saying. I like to read. And the thing that I realized is books are heavy, and carrying more than one book is a pain in the ass. And you want to know what's great? Having all my books on a device that is smaller than a book. So, yeah. That's kind of what's encouraged the want of an iPad mini. So, like, that is what has popped that.
Well, now's a good time to get one because they just came out with the new iPad minis, which all they really did to it is now you can get it in gold and Touch ID, but they dropped the price of them to like $100. The iPad Mini 2s with the Retina screen, and literally the only difference, it's so stupid, you pay $100 more pretty much just for Touch ID.
That I wouldn't even want that. I don't even use that on my phone.
Really, you don't?
No, I just have a passcode. I'm like, I don't really need this.
It's so much more convenient, though, dude.
I can type in a code, man. I'm not. There is a level of laziness in the future that even I'm not okay with.
No, but it's just convenience. Like, okay, you gotta press the home button and then you have to enter it. Whereas You just press the home button, you leave your thumb there, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's really not that much more work for me to put in a 4-digit code.
I don't know. I think Touch ID is extremely nice. I
think it's a nice feature, but I'm just like, I used it once when they first made us learn it at AT&T, and I'm like, oh, this is neat. I'm never gonna use this. But I don't know. It's
a lot more secure too.
Yeah, it is more secure, but like I said, like my phone, the passcode's more than enough. The only advantage to the Touch ID thing is it can't lock me out of my phone or fry my SIM card. Oh wait, only I know about that because I used to work for the company. Yeah, fun stuff.
Cool. So, Anthony, what are your thoughts on the Xbox One bundles? Does it entice you at all to pick one up?
When I first read it, I was thinking to myself, because I had like zero intention of getting an Xbox One, because I'm like, I don't care. I just spent a lot of money buying a PlayStation 4. I'm pretty much stuck with the PlayStation 4. And I saw 350 and I thought to myself, I don't think I really need that graphics card upgrade. My computer can live with a 550 Ti for the rest of its life. It works. Yeah, I was thinking about it. There's no way I'm going to buy an Xbox One this holiday season, because I'm sorry, I bought a PlayStation 4, and at this point, the only 2 games I have on it is Destiny, which is really disappointing, and Drive Club, which is good, but it's not something that's making me play the system every day.
And you'll probably be getting Dragon Age, so I mean...
Yeah, I'm probably getting Dragon Age. Probably, I don't know. But Dragon Age is a multi-plat, so, I just spent all this money on PS4, and right now I'm just not in the mood or financial state to spend over $350 on a new game console again.
Also, quite frankly, anything that you want to play on Xbox One is a multiplayer game we can play at my house. Let's be real. Halo, we can play at my house. Dance Central, we can play at my house.
Yeah.
We don't,
Yeah, because I got the Xbox One. I was an early adopter. I paid the $500 for the Xbox One with the Kinect.
The early adopter tax.
The Kinect I never fucking use. It just literally sits there. Yes, I used it for the Extra Life stream, but other than that, I don't use it. Like, if they would have had the option to get the Xbox One for $400 with the Kinect, I wouldn't even have to think about it. I would have gotten one without the Kinect.
I would have bought it with Kinect still, but because I like dancing games, man. Like, I can't fucking help it. I like to dance. What can I say? Well, not only that, but also the Kinect for navigating these menus is like this menu system without Kinect is a fucking clusterfuck. So bad. Like, being able to just go to settings, and I'm playing my Xbox right now, and guess what it just did?
I just hate the fact that requires the Kinect. That's so dumb. Like, at least with Sony, like with the PlayStation 4, you don't have to have the PlayStation camera to voice command. You can just use any headset and the voice commands work. And it's perfectly capable of the Xbox One, but Microsoft knows that, so they make it so you have to have the Kinect because they want to sell it.
Yes.
At this point, though, you've got so many bundles that don't come with the Kinect in order to lower your price that it has now become an optional extra. To my eyes.
I think they will, and I think they will release an update eventually that you'll be able to voice control it without a Kinect.
Someone at Harmonix is really pissed off about them ditching Kinect. I mean, they invested a lot of money in Dance Central. They invested a lot of money in Fantasia, and both of those games use Kinect. Someone is super pissed over in Harmonix right now. So I don't know.
It was a dumb business move in the first place.
Well, no,
it's just like Sony, like they come out and said that they were thinking about including the PlayStation camera with the PlayStation 4, and I'm just like, that's dumb, because the PlayStation camera, literally, the only reason why PlayStation camera sells, like, I don't know about now, but for about, 6 or 7 months after PlayStation 4 came out, you could not find them on shelves. And
now you can. Now they're fucking everywhere. But...
Yeah, people weren't buying them for, people are buying it so they can use the PlayStation Move whenever they decide to come out with a game that works with the camera with PlayStation Move. They're buying it for live streaming. That's why they're buying it. It's the fact that they can hook it into their PlayStation 4 and have streaming, because live streaming is the thing nowadays. Twitch got bought for like $2 to $3 billion. Like, streaming is a huge market, which is why we're going to become more part of it, because we've got to stay up to date with the trends. And yeah, so of course people
this
are
website cannot have a midlife crisis.
No, we cannot have a midlife crisis. The streaming is huge. Streaming was not something that really existed when the site started, and it's become a thing. So, just like any successful company does, we have to follow the trends. So, we're going to try. I can't necessarily promise we'll have something weekly, but I would at least like to have 2 scheduled streams a month, I guess would be the goal.
I mean, we could always stream game night over at our friend Roey's place. John Brevin and I go that every week, and it's just fighting games and shit talk for 3 hours. So,
yeah.
Granted, I'm sure people would love to watch that at first, but after a while, hearing John and I talk shit to each other,
like, the Extra Life thing just opened it up to me. It's like, I was randomly checking in, and then obviously I did my stream, and it's like, we had a lot of people that were watching, and a lot of people were getting engaged, and that's something we should definitely be doing more often.
Well, not only that, but like, let's talk about how not only are people engaged, but the fact that we had more people watching us than fucking Game Informer. That is madness to me. Yes, I realize our traffic numbers are always improving. If I had to take a guess, we could break 1 million sometime next year. But I say that, but I also just it's hard for me to comprehend. Game Informer, we pulled more traffic than Game Informer.
I remember I used to be a subscriber to Game Informer before GameStop pretty much took them over.
The magazine Game Informer, right?
It's just kind of funny how it's like, we are the #1 gaming magazine. Yeah, that's because
they're the only magazine.
You're like the only one. Everything has kind of died because print media is sort of.
I mean, GamePro still exists, but it's quarterly now. So, as far as I know, I always preferred GamePro. So I did enjoy how glossy. I enjoyed the glossy covers and articles that Game Informer had.
You know what? When I think of game magazines, what really hits home are the official PlayStation magazines and Xbox magazines where they came with demo discs.
Oh God, fuck! Would make me feel old. Yeah, actually, Giant Bob's been doing a segment.
I get so excited for those.
Yeah,
you know what pissed me off? I don't know how it works with the Xbox magazine, but with the PlayStation magazine, they did this stupid shit where if you were a subscriber, they send you the magazine but not the demo disc. The only way you could get the demo disc if you bought it off store shelves.
No, Xbox magazine, if you were a subscriber, you got a fucking disc also. It was great.
Well, yeah, they did not do that with the PlayStation magazine, which really upset me.
Yeah, man, I was subscribed to Nintendo Power, and every month they give you a new poster. At one point, I had a room just covered in Nintendo Power posters. Nintendo Power Nintendo Power was great. That was a great magazine.
It's just print. You gotta think about it. It's the internet. It's just taking it over. If a magazine gets a news story first, they have to print it, and then they have to ship it. You're talking about a few weeks. You can't beat people to the punch. The only way Game Magazine is gonna beat anyone to the punch is if they get an exclusive interview.
Which Informer sort of gets because they're so big.
Because of GameStop,
and they have money because of GameStop, yeah.
The only reason I have a subscription to fucking Game Informer is because I have that rewards card and because I like reading shit at work. Or I used to like reading shit at work. My current job, I can't read in between calls, which is just horrible. Yeah. But Man, I think Game Informer and all those print magazines, it's a real shame to see them go, but on the other hand, like, where do I go when I want to read reviews? Like, I think of myself, like, if I wasn't a member of the press and I was reading reviews, I would go to Giant Bomb, I would go to certain IGN reviews, and I would, like, I would basically find editors at sites and like follow them and see if they're reviewing. I would read Jim Sterling's reviews because my tastes tend to be in line with his, with the exception of like horror games. So,
yeah. Anyways, let's move along. PlayStation 4 2.0 is now out. A lot of little things such as being able to change your background and dynamic themes and just little UI tweaks here and there. But the big thing is Shareplay. Has anyone tried it yet?
No, but I think the idea is, like, say, hey, I'm stuck. Can you play the game for me? And it happens over the internet, right?
Or hey, I got this new game. Do you wanna play it and see if you like it so you can go buy it? Like, let's say Anthony, let's say I buy Little Big Planet 3 and I'm like, oh my gosh, Anthony, this is best Little Big Planet ever. You're like, I'm not a big Little Big Planet fan. I can invite you to where you can play Little Big Planet through my console.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then it's for games like Towerfall, where you have to, it's local multiplayer only, you could do Towerfall. I actually want to really, really try it out. So, Bronson, maybe we should try some Towerfall or something.
Dude,
try this out.
You are going to have to wait until the end of my busy season happens. I'm telling you right now. I work 12-hour days right now, and I'm trying to get this Halo review done. Once those two things are in the bag, sure. But until then... I really want to try this. I really want to try the Shareplay. I've been hearing it works really well, from what I've been hearing. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff. Like, that's... there's no doubt.
Very impressive technology, that's for sure.
Yeah, like, we live in the future, man.
I remember when during the Sony E3 press conference when they announced for Far Cry, pretty much what they announced was Shareplay, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" And now Sony's pretty much unlocked it for the entire console.
Yeah, like
so pretty much Ubisoft was just kind of foreshadowing the next firmware for Sony.
I mean, Shareplay is really neat. I don't see much use for it for me, other than the fact that Anthony can't always get over to my house to borrow games that he needs to for the site. So now he can just be like, oh, okay, well, I'll just load it up on your PlayStation and go get something to eat. Like that's what he'd have to do. Yeah. Okay, wow. Sorry,
Anthony, your thoughts on it?
Thoughts on Shareplay?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of cool because there's always this case of, Anthony, you need to try this game. Anthony, you need to try this game. But the problem is that it never happens unless I somehow drive all the way over, borrow the entire disc, and drive all the way back home. And games just don't happen as demos very often. So I think it's pretty cool. It's also pretty nice. Say Persona 5 happens and I get really, really, really stuck in a dungeon that's annoying the crowd out of me. I'll be like, hey Bronson, can you solve this dungeon for me? I just want it over with. That would be really handy for...
I do it if you're save. Why haven't you fused anything? Why is it all no fuse boxes, Anthony? No fusions.
It's all about social links. Anyways, but yeah, that would be pretty handy. I mean, I think it's a great way to try games, and it's also a great way for friends to help you with your game. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Anthony, I can have you help me get some of these stars in Drive Club.
If you still care about Drive Club.
Yeah. Oh no, I still play it every now and then.
I know, but you have Forza Horizon 2 now.
Yeah, very, very true.
It's
Forza Horizon 2 is so freaking good.
I probably have more respect for Drive Club. At the end of the day, I probably would be finding myself playing Forza Horizon 2 more.
I would be playing a lot more Drive Club if there's more content for it.
Yeah. I mean, actually, if you kind of think of it from a TGA perspective, it's like, oh my goodness, think about how many more games that we can have staff members just play around for just one random hour just so they have a feel, because one of the problems that we always have with Game of the Year awards is I didn't play that game. And
Here's
so
a thought. Here's
the whole basis of a game's argument is based on one person's ability to argue for it.
Here's another thing. One of us gets a game early. Dude, I want to play that game. Okay, dude. Let me just load it up so you can play it. Like Infamous Second Son, for example. Bronson really wants to play it. I have it 2 weeks early. Here, Bronson, I'll let you play it for a little bit.
Another case of a game going to the wrong house. I was just so butthurt.
I think they're gonna block that because that could easily be abused. Because it's like, hey, I've got an early copy of this game. Psst, you want to play it? We can do Shareplay.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're going to keep an eye on stuff.
No, but think about it. If they were going to do that, then they wouldn't allow you to stream it.
Yeah, like what they
Nothing prevents. If I get a game early, I can always just press share and stream it and break embargo.
Streaming is different from playing.
Also, what you have to remember, Anthony, is probably what they'll do is it's like, okay, here are the tags for all our editors. So if any of them are playing it, don't get pissed.
Yeah, pretty sure the servers would like send like red flashing warnings.
I don't think it's that because they've never asked for my PSN ID, so Sony doesn't know my PSN ID. I just think it comes down to...
All they have to do is just watch a show where you've played a game and then they saw it. Or they just look up your name on the server.
If it becomes a real big issue, what they're going to do is through their back end, they'll just see that, okay, this person is using Shareplay for this game with several different people. We need to figure out what's going on. There's not going to be any type of technology where it's like, oh, this game's before release, so you can't Shareplay it. I don't think they're going to do that. But...
Okay. But as far as like website stuff, I think Shareplay is a pretty nifty idea.
This is something this website has needed for years.
Well, I'm not talking about websites. I'm talking about like general consumer stuff. Because how many times have you heard, dude, you need to play this game. Sorry, I don't want to play it. Or I have to go through the whole trouble of borrowing your whole disc. It's just kind of like a nice way. I think it's a really cool way of just going, you know, here's a game that I like. I don't know if you're going to like it. Try it out.
Or you know, a perfect example of this is Anthony, you and I are going to be playing through all the Halos. Possibly me and you. I'm debating if you and I are going to record it or John and I are going to stream 32 hours of straight Halo. I need to talk with him about this, of course. But those, we did hit our extra life goal, everyone, so either Anthony and I or John and I are going to be playing through all of Halo. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is going to be interesting.
Through the collection, right?
Yeah. Through whether we stream it or record it like Super Mega Awesome Go Playtime comes down to scheduling and if I'm doing it with Anthony or John. So, anyway. What was I going to say? Yeah, this is a really neat idea. Like, for instance, like right now I'm playing the Master Chief Collection for a review, and Anthony has never played Halo 2. It's the whole in the trilogy for him. So when I'm done, I could be like, hey, Anthony, play Halo 2. Obviously, it's not a PlayStation game, but if it was.
Is there a time limit to...
It's an hour. Pretty much what happens is you play for an hour. After your hour, it just disconnects, but you can reconnect as many times as you want to.
Yeah. There's another thing, too, where Sony is kind of concerned that person might see spoilers, so the game developers have an option of, you know, disabling the ability for a person to view a spoiler by just placing a generic sorry icon over the screen.
That's what they do with live streams. Like when we were doing Metal Gear Ground Zeroes, and it's like, oh yeah, the video is not recording, just the audio from the microphone. So,
which that makes sense. I mean, you have someone that wants to go check it out, and they end up getting ruined by accident. Makes sense to me. But yeah, I think it's a very cool update. I said there's a lot of other minor things they did, like you can play music off a USB stick now.
In-game soundtracks actually do happen.
Custom soundtracks, thank fucking God.
I mean,
Microsoft has it, but you have to use Xbox Music. Fuck my life.
It's like, for me, I never used it. I think the only time I ever used custom soundtracks, twice, was with Oblivion, where I would just find some like random epic music, just stick it into the game while Martin Septon's delivering his speech before you go into the gates of Oblivion to stop that giant machine from ruining the world. And the second time was Forza 2, because those 45-minute endurance races are really tiring.
So, when the Xbox 360 came out, that was one of my big requested features, because the original Xbox had custom soundtracks because it had a hard drive, but it was only for certain games. So, I ripped all my CDs to my original Xbox, and I played like Forza, Madden, like 3 other games with custom soundtracks. And that was awesome, but I wanted it for all games. And I remember when the Xbox 360 came out, I hooked my Creative Zen Nano MP3 player to it. This is old. Very old, as you can all tell.
But I remember my first MP3 player, 512 megabytes.
1 gig Creative Zen Nano. And it was so awesome because it had an FM radio also.
Oh yeah, mine did too.
Yeah, it was a Creative Zen Nano.
512 megabytes.
Yeah, man, like, because everyone
was pretty normal for the time, really.
Everyone was so hyped.
Oh yeah, it was.
Everyone was so hyped on the iPod, and like I was doing research because I wanted an MP3 player for Christmas, and I just didn't want to say, "Oh, get an iPod," because they were ridiculously expensive, and also, I didn't want to do that to my parents, and also because I wanted to know if there were better MP3 players. And the Creative Zen Nano was the size of 2 AA batteries, actually a little smaller. It had a gig of memory, and it came with what else? It did a couple other things, but it was just super tiny. This thing was unbelievably small. It was powered off 1 AAA battery, and it could run for like 30 hours. The only thing that was a problem with it is to get music. It had like it didn't have the click wheel and a menu like the iPods had. It just had like this wheel that you had to click with with this really bad LED screen. But still, I hooked it to my 360, and the fact that here's all my 1 gig of music, which having a gig of music at the time seemed like there's just so much music. Now I laugh at that thought.
Well, duh. Back in the day, look. Obviously, back in the day, it was obviously awesome, and today we laugh at it. It's much like how, hey guys, the GameCube had like 48 megabytes of RAM. Giggle.
Yeah, just like how for my PSP, I paid like $70 for a 512 megabyte card.
God,
yeah, but here's the thing. At the time,
I've never been so happy I got to the PSP late as when people say shit like that. I thought the PSP was so awesome. I remember Quinn bought one. I got a DS for Christmas, and I was happy with it. But then I saw the PSP, and I was like, "Holy shit, that sounds so fucking awesome!" And then I found out the prices of memory, and I thought, "Oh man, I'll sell my Nano. I'll mow a shit ton of lawns and buy a PSP." And I found out the price of memory cards, and I was like, "Hell no! $100 for a gig? Are you fucking crazy?"
I think the PSP was a little too ahead of its time because of those memory problems.
And good old UMDs.
That's the other thing too.
Ever.
Yeah, like that's the other thing too.
Let's take a portable device that people are gonna walk around carrying and put a spinning disc in it. Because it's not going to hurt the battery or anything.
Can you digital download 800 megabyte game? Oh wait,
well, I'm not talking about digital downloads. Freaking,
I know, but UMDs
did put them on cards.
Yeah, but those cards were, a lot.
They didn't hold
smaller.
as. Okay, well, here's the problem: is that cards can only hold so much, and because you got to remember this is a DS in the early 2000s. That thing was effectively like a read-only flash card with a little bit of saved memory on it. Do you think that is enough to put in all of this graphics and tech and sound that a PSP can do?
I mean,
probably not.
Like the PSP was essentially a portable Dreamcast, is what it was, as far as power goes. And I remember seeing that PSP that first week when I was super impressed. But I didn't get one until 2 years after it came out, and for my birthday. It was my 17th birthday, 2007, and I got all my birthday cash, and it ended up being enough to get a PSP bundle, and they just dropped the price and put out new bundles. You could get there was the white Darth Vader bundle, which came with Star Wars Battlefront and a 32 megabyte memory card, or you could get the Jack and Daxter bundle, or the Daxter bundle. It came with Daxter, like 5 episodes of Family Guy, and a gig of memory, and that's when the PSP became my primary memory card, or primary MP3 player.
You're one of those people. Used a PSP as an MP3 player.
I used it for portable video.
I never understood people who used a PSP as an MP3 player. I think it's so freaking big.
Well, yeah, but I had it with me anyway for my games, so I was like, why would I use anything else? Like I had it with me for my games because I wasn't super fond of the original DS. Like, there are a couple of games I loved the living crap out of on the DS, but it's not like the 3DS where like I carry my 3DS with me on the daily. It's in my messenger bag every day. It's what is the PSP was that at the time. Like the PSP, I carried my PSP with me every day, and I carried my PSP with me every day, and I figured, well, I'm playing games on it. It only makes sense to put my goddamn music on this thing. So that's what I ended up doing. I put my music on it, and it ended up being my primary MP3 player up until I got a PSP Go. Aaron and I made that.
PSP Go.
Aaron and I made that good decision. You know what? People hate on that system, but fucking that thing was awesome. It was super small. Like it made the PSP games look better because it was the same games, same resolution on a smaller screen and better screen. So games looked better. It was easier to carry around, and it had enough memory for a shit ton of games. So, like, people hate on the PSP Go all the time, but I had really good experiences with it. The reason I sold mine is I sold it and one of my 3 PSPs towards a Vita. Now some of you are asking why the fuck did I have 3 PSPs? Should I tell that story?
Sum it up real quick.
I had a 2000, which the latch was semi-broken, so the only way I could get to play UMDs is by making a latch replacement out of tinfoil. And then I had a PSP 1000 that my friend Quinn gave me because he owed me a bunch of money and he just wanted to pay it back. And he's like, well, do you think this is worth like $60? And it was his PSP and Luminous. And I'm like, sure, why not? And that's how. And then I bought a PSP Go. So that is how I ended up with 3 PSPs. That was a really underrated system in my opinion. There's a lot of good stuff on the PSP.
Homebrew was a big thing with that, though.
Yeah, well, you know the song "Video Killed the Radio Star." Piracy killed the PSP.
Yeah, it sold the PSP though.
It sold a lot.
PSP sold like what, like 80 million?
Yeah, PSP. It plays Super Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Fucking true facts. Like, I remember, like, one of my first big experiences with the PSP was a friend of mine was working at Blockbuster, and he bought one. And he's like, oh, you gotta check this out, I'm like, yeah, it's PSP. So, like, no, check this out. And he had Ocarina of Time running on PSP, and I'm like, what? What is this fucking madness? Yeah, so... Yeah, but the problem is that Homebrew also made it so the only person making games for it was Sony and Japanese devs. No one else wanted to make games for the goddamn thing because of piracy.
Yeah.
Well, lives.
Alright. Well, moving along. So, anyone here still playing Destiny at all? I
did a little bit of PvP during the extra live stream, but I I pretty much have a run of the Vault of Glass in me whenever some friends are ready, and then I'm probably done.
How about you, Anthony?
I booted if I get some free items. That's like once a week for 5 minutes. That's it. Like, after I hit level 20, that was officially the point where I'm like, I don't know anybody who still plays. I don't know anybody who still actually wants to play this game. There's no way I'm going to put in this much effort and time just to get myself to level 26. I'm way too busy right now for that. This game was sort of nice, but I can't believe I bought a PS4 bundle with this game.
I know...
That's my thought process.
I will say, I do know one of our friends who plays that game fucking religiously. So if you are ever looking for someone to play that game with, just talk to Quinn. Quinn plays that game nonstop. Granted, it's partially just because his video card is fucked and he can't play World of Warcraft, but still. So I guess Destiny is his current treadmill.
Can I just say this is a random thought, but I'm playing Civ 5 right now, and I've had 2 countries just randomly declare war at me. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we would like a peace treaty, and then all of a sudden they're friendly again. I'm like, what kind of logic is this? You start a war, end it, and then suddenly we're friends again.
Sounds like a lot of what's going on in the real world sometimes.
Well, well, here's the thing. I'm an actual leader in this game, okay? Because in the real world, what you normally see is what they always talk about in the news and how they're releasing press conferences about. We're working our hardest to resolve this conflict to ensure peace, when really been behind the scenes, it's probably like utter chaos 24/7, 365, managed by about a gazillion people. So, you know, if I were to take a guess. But it's just weird. It's like they declare war, and then 10 seconds later they're like, yeah, peace treaty. And they haven't really done any damage at all whatsoever to my empire, which consists of only 3 cities, which is hilariously bad. Yeah. Anyways, that's a tangent thought.
So, bringing Destiny up, because Bungie has announced the details for their first expansion, The Dark Below. It'll be coming out on December 9th at the price of $19.99, or you can get the season pass, which it comes with The Dark Below, and then their next expansion, the $34.99. So pretty much you save $5 if you get both of them. What's new in The Dark Below? Like I said, come out December 9th. New weapons, armor, and gear. The light level cap has been raised from 30 to 32. I believe it was set to 30 before, correct?
Yeah.
So 30 to 32. A new cooperative strike, 3 new multiplayer arenas, new story missions, and a new 6-player raid. Are you guys think you're gonna pick it up?
I just don't care. Do not give a fuck.
Okay, so I'm paying $20, and Destiny's a $60 game that underperformed and had limited content. So now they're asking me to pay $20 for what could be another limited expansion. I don't think I want to risk that.
Well, yeah, and what really upsets me is the fact that some of this content is already on the disc. And there's no speculating or any of that, because there's videos on the internet of people finding ways to glitch into the content, which that is very frustrating. The game got criticized for its lack of content being too repetitive, and then you're going to have content on the disc that you're just going to lock? That's ridiculous. Like, my point of view on this is, like I said, I'm kind of with Bronson and Anthony. I just don't care anymore. Like, Destiny was a huge disappointment. Definitely, by far, no comparison, my biggest disappointment of the year. Don't even have to think about it.
I think that game has that award in the bag.
Yes.
That game has that game award so sewn up.
So instead of the Game of the Year award, it's going to get the biggest disappointment of the year. It might sneak into my top 10 still, just because there hasn't been too many games this year that have really impressed me. But if it does sneak in, it will be definitely towards the top. As far as will I play the 6th expansion pack, I don't know if I'm going to spend $20 on it. If you were to ask me before Destiny came out, like when I got Destiny, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna get the season pass for it. I know I'm gonna love this game, and I'm so glad I did not buy it because 2 days later, I'm like, okay, I've been doing the same thing every single day, and I'm really, really getting bored. And then that's the story of Destiny. So,
I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, this PvP is good, but Halo and Titanfall are kind of better, and the fucking raids in this game are just the most repetitive thing in the universe, and not in the way like WoW is or Final Fantasy, where it's semi-entertaining. This is just fucking torture.
The way I feel about Destiny is, it was really cool at first. Like, when the beta came out, it was really cool. I was playing it on a PlayStation 3, and I still thought, wow, this game is very, very well polished. I think I really like this. Could be cool. And then the actual game came out, and then you realize the beta was like a quarter. It felt like a quarter of what...
Yeah, that was the problem. It was the entire Earth. The entire Earth was in the beta.
And I'm just like, I thought...
Okay, we're in, old Russia. Okay, we'll probably have maybe 4 or 5 different places on Earth, and then... But no, old Russia's it. You got this entire planet of Earth, and all you've got is old Russia? Like, come on. Like, the amount of time and resources you guys used for this game, this is all you guys came out with? Like, I don't know what you guys have been doing, because the game doesn't show it.
I mean, like, I just feel that this was a case of too much ambition and too many ideas into one game, and they had no focus. We've talked fucking Destiny to death.
Yeah.
Well,
it's funny because when we do the Game of the Year Awards, that's just going to be the one thing that there's absolutely, like, we might as well not even discuss it. I mean, Destiny. I mean, there's no question that's the most disappointing game.
All right, everyone, get ready for our other 50 awards in 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, they marketed that thing to death.
And I'm sorry, guys. This year, you do not need to worry about Devil May Cry making Game of the Year. Putting that out there.
Oh boy.
Still pisses me off.
Oh, don't.
Devil May Cry instead of freaking
You're not the only one, okay? I mean, Devil May Cry's gonna get...
come on, guys. You guys were on there. You seriously let Devil May Cry make it and not Tomb Raider?
Well, there were 3 of us there, I think, right? There was 3.
There were 3 of us, yes.
There were 3 of us there, and we all agreed that our number 1 game, absolute favorite game, that isn't already on the top 10, you know, our personal favorite is going to get in there. So for Bronson, that would be Saints Row 4. For me, it was Fire Emblem Awakening.
Game, but okay.
I think Fire Emblem is a fucking legitimately great game. So that game, no problem with that being in the top 10.
Yeah, like, so we're allowed to have like a personal favorite, and Aaron's personal favorite got on the top 10. It was just the problem of placing it.
You can listen to that podcast, and you can ask Anthony. I tried killing it. I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried.
Game's not good.
I don't know what to fucking tell you.
We allowed a personal favorite, and then somehow, I don't even remember how it was at number 9 and not 10.
Because
Aaron's a huge fan of Pokemon, so he's
10 was Saints Row.
It's like, I don't understand. It's like Aaron has an absolute favorite on that list in the form of Pokemon also, but the problem is that we all kind of agreed.
As much as I hate Saints Row 4, I would have at least put it ahead of Devil May Cry.
Saints Row 4 is a fucking great game.
And fucking Saints Row 4 is a terrible game. So
Saints Row 4 is fucking so fucking good. That game.
This argument's I'm just kind of glad that I don't really have a. Okay, well, I do have a butthurt.
This is a perfect example. This is a perfect example for Shareplay. So Bronson, if you get Saints Row 4, the new edition, you should Shareplay it to Anthony so he can play it and finally tell you how bad the game is.
I intend to get the HD version of the best game of 2015.
I look for. Now, I am glad that Deep Silver decided that this expansion does not require that you have to buy this, because I'm interested in the expansion, absolutely, but I would not want to have to buy the game again because it's such a disappointment. So
I mean, I bought the game on the PC. I really enjoyed it.
No, I played it on PC. Yeah, I played it on PC as well.
I beat that game twice. I almost rented it for Xbox just to beat it the third time. Because goddamn, it's just so much fun. That game is
just... you should share play it to Anthony. So Anthony, that comes out. Does that come out January?
That comes out in January. Yep.
So Anthony can finally play Saints Row. And
I mean, I like Saints Row 3. At least we all agree.
Saints Row 3 was amazing. Saints Row 3 is the best one of the franchise, like that nice, bar none.
Yeah, it's like that nice balance between,
and then they fucked up the balance with 4. That's exactly what happened.
All I did was I just watched Bronson and just watching in-game Bronson become president of the United States, and that was actually kind of cool. Okay, that was kind of cool. But that was only like the first hour because that was a 60-minute access.
Yeah, man, we
went
back to the 1950s
and you got into like, and then you ended up
fucking alien. It was great.
No, like all I saw was that Bronson became president through this Call of Duty knockoff, which is pretty funny, and then you just watched him be stuck in 1950 Steelport, which is hilarious. And that was the end of our 60-minute access run. So, that was only 1 hour.
The DLC, you rescue Santa Claus. It's a Christmas DLC. What more do you fucking want?
Is it? No, here's the problem, Bronson, is that... No,
you rescue Santa Claus from aliens in the Matrix.
See, Bronson, this is the thing that I'm a little concerned about. It's getting to the point where... See, when you say it that way, maybe to you that's awesome because your head is just a bunch of chaos of unicorns streaking through the sky while raining car parts for your Trailblazer and water... And instead of the sky being blue, it's purple, but instead of having clouds, there's just floating water. I'm sorry, like that kind of point is just bizarre to the point where I'm like, Bronson, I think you need to it's like you somehow endorse the use of ridiculous pharmaceuticals to envision things that just don't make sense to sane people.
Saints 4 was created while people were on acid. That is the only way the game
some games created on a bit of acid is fine.
The idea of Saints Row 4 is them all sitting at a round table on acid and be like, okay, guys, we need to make the next Saints Row while on acid. That's what happened. That's how Saints Row 4 became a thing.
People on acid on Saints Row 3 was actually probably a thing. It was just that, hey, let's just make a crazy game.
They just didn't overdose. Saints Row 4, they overdosed.
Okay, well, see, because, you're telling me all this, and I'm starting to think it's like, maybe they kind of went a little too far to the point where nothing makes sense.
That's exactly what happened.
That's my concern right there.
Bronson talks about Destiny lacking focus. Saints Row 4 has no focus at all.
Because in Saints Row 3,
it will do some shit where it'll throw in a freaking dragon skateboarding on a piece of ice or some shit like. Stuff that makes absolutely no sense.
It's like a grab bag. It's like they had like an idea wall of crazy ideas. And in Saints Row 3, what they did was that you had to hack a firewall, I think.
We're not removing any ideas. We're just going to all throw it into a freaking clusterfuck.
Okay, well, here's what I'm thinking. Like, Saints Row 3 was a case of, okay, so you have to hack into a network. Let's make a Matrix level. So that made sense because you have to hack into firewall. Let's make a Matrix level. Whereas what Saints Row 4 sounded like from what Bronson's talking about is getting to the point where it sounds like they had a giant wall full of ideas. What they did is just randomly chucked darts at it, and wherever the dart landed, they just took the idea and just did it anyways without thinking how to make it cohesive in any way whatsoever. For all you know, you can put your car.
I can't remember. There's a word for it. Oh, I think I'm getting the hiccups, which is not good for podcast, so if you hear me hiccup, I'm sorry. Yep, yeah, I have hiccups. What are they called? You know those books where they're like stories, and then there's lines, and then it tells you
Bad Libs.
Bad Libs. That's what Saints Row 4 is. Bad Libs came to life. Because seriously, it makes no sense. Rescuing Santa Claus while in the Matrix. Like,
okay,
like, no, come on.
They explain it in the plot. Okay, so
it's so dumb.
So great.
The only way I can understand Santa Claus in the Matrix is if that's the aliens' idea of human torture. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, they explain this shit in the plot, so it's not like it's.
Well, that plot better make this stuff story cohesive because in Saints Row 3 it was hilarious how when you had to go to this one particular nightclub, and next thing you know, you're rescuing Zemos, and he's this dude pulling the carriage, and I was sitting there laughing. That was pretty awesome, and same with, you're gonna hack the firewall. Well, welcome to the Matrix, and you're fighting this giant thing, and I'm like, that was cool.
The thing I can say about Saints Row 4 is if you appreciate sci-fi, science fiction, and action movies, that game, you will appreciate it because it parodies all that shit. It parodies everything science fiction and action. There's a goddamn Mass Effect parody. There's a Metal Gear parody. There's so many goddamn parodies in that game. Saints Row 4.
So in the top 10, we ended up with Devil May Cry and Saints Row 4, but somehow don't have Tomb Raider and Bioshock Infinite.
I do not
Tomb Raider Tomb Raider originally made it onto the list by default because we were having arguments everywhere, but then Tomb Raider just plopped to 5, and then Bronson remembered Dota 2 existed.
Then Saints Row 4 should have been removed for Tomb Raider.
Well, no, Devil May Cry should have been removed.
Well, I agree with you there, but that did not happen. So.
Anyways, it's like I sense that
almost every week.
I just I just know that we're going to end up rewriting the rule book. I sense that somehow it's like we're gonna rewrite the rule book so that way quote stupid mistakes unquote or quote less likely to happen unquote.
So, one thing I can say is I actually do not think Bioshock Infinite was a top 10 game.
It was so good.
Bioshock Infinite had a great story, but that game's gameplay was not the best.
I loved it.
I'm
not saying I'm talking about higher in the top 10, but Tomb Raider was fucking amazing.
Tomb Raider was a great game. Aaron didn't like it. That was the problem there. Aaron didn't like that game.
Aaron has a horrible taste in games.
Aaron had
I wouldn't say horrible, I say different. Because let's be honest, I'm pretty sure all of us have really oddball taste in games.
I mean, there's some stuff on Aaron's top 10 where I was like, yeah, that was a fucking awesome game. And then some shit I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I don't know. Everyone's top 10 is. And there's a reason we do the top 10 individual top 10s. So, if you have a preference of staff members' taste in games, you can be like, oh well, that I align with Nick or Bronson or Anthony. I'm going to pay attention to their top 10s. And it's also so we can air out grievances like how Gone Home is an amazing game, and Kyrie's on drugs for not enjoying it.
Bronson, I the fact that top 10s always constantly have problems is why I kind of think top 10-ish is a great idea. It's because it's you can't figure out 10 games, well, let's make it 12. Maybe we can fit 12 in. Ooh, 12 seems like a good list.
Yeah, well, we actually did make it to 10 Wii games somehow.
We did.
Yeah,
that. I still have that sound file.
I still have the script, part of the script written.
Here's how outdated the top 10 Wii games is, because that's not going to change, because one of these days when we have enough time we're going to sit down and we're going to have to do top 10 games of each console of the previous generation, and then top 10 games of the entire generation. And the Wii's pretty much done because the Wii's lifespan ended a little sooner than the Xbox ended sooner than the PS3's. And there's some severely outdated opinions because we recorded that about the week before E3 did, and we were in between the Xbox One reveal, which looked like the worst game system ever invented, and E3, which at that time PS4 had too many question marks, Xbox One looked like the worst thing ever, and it looks like the future was Wii U and PC.
Before that E3, I was very much well, I'm gonna build this ridiculous rig and ride out the storm. Maybe get a Wii U. And Sony had a very strong E3. Don't die, Nick. We need you.
Yeah, I know these hiccups are killing me.
Drink water.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm trying to do. But, alright, that's the, only news stories I had.
Let's see. They announced the PlayStation Plus games for this month. Let me pull them up.
I looked at it and there wasn't a single name that I saw in there that was interesting.
I was like, it's all indie games on PS, not just PlayStation 4, but PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita as well. And I was like, okay, this is the year. I mean, this is the month that the PlayStation 4 turns a year old. I would have thought by now it would have been like Assassin's Creed Black Flag or even like Knack or something.
They don't have the games with gold out, but they do have the PlayStation Plus games. Let me get those.
Hiccups.
Yeah. Gotta love them.
I drank too much. Let's see. So, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which was a solid indie title for PC years ago. Frozen Synapse, which that was a pretty fun indie game. I was in love with it. Laugh Rousers, which is an arcade shooter, from what I've heard is alright. And The Hungry Horde, which I've never heard of. And Escape Plan, which was one of the launch beta titles that was actually really good. So...
Very disappointing month, if you ask me.
I wonder what Xbox's month is going to be. Like, I mean, you don't wonder.
Yeah, I think from Xbox, I think we will see a full-fledged
I would bet game. Forza 5, maybe Dead Rising.
I don't think they'll do Forza.
Maybe the first season of Killer Instinct. You could see that.
Maybe. I could definitely see that.
Because KI Season 2 just came out. That game did really well, apparently. Like, good enough to get a second and possibly third season. So, I don't... Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's... I don't know, man. It's... This month on PlayStation Plus doesn't look bad. Like, Binding of Isaac is, like, so this pretty solid Zelda action clone. And then other games have gotten relatively positive reviews. And I've actually played Escape Plan, and I really liked it, so... I don't know, I'm just not...
Escape Plan was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just not, nuts over anything they have here. But maybe that's because they're saving it for December. Maybe it's because it's November and they know people are buying games anyway. Like November, I mean, think about how many games each of us are going to buy this November. I know Anthony and I are probably picking up Smash. Like, if I didn't already have the Halo review copy, I'd be buying Halo. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff coming out.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Far Cry. A big Far Cry. I've been a Far Cry fan since 2. Far Cry 3 was amazing. Far Cry 4 just looks really amazing. So, I really can't wait for that game. That's probably my next big game for this year.
I think mine is Smash or Warcraft. I don't know. Anyone else got news? Anthony?
Well, President Iwata of Nintendo is back at full swing after having surgery. And
Good to
Nintendo...
Hear.
Huh?
Good to hear. Glad to have the man healthy.
And in addition to the man healthy, Nintendo's actually doing better because Wii U sales are actually on the rise. Meanwhile, 3DS sales are kind of a bit down compared to the previous year. Or at least that's what the snippet I remembered said.
Oh yeah, there's not as much out this year. No
I
Pokemon
think one of the best things about the Iwata announcement is all the GIFs. I think that's what you pronounce it, right?
GIF. I say GIF.
Is it GIF or
GIF? I say GIF as well.
Because GIF is my peanut butter, but the creator of the file format says GIF, and I think I read a poll that says that 70% of the internet pronounces GIF as GIF.
Look, this was a big argument years ago, and I'm not gonna go into it. Like,
I'm just like, I can't figure it out. But anyways, like, the best part about the Iwata announcement is all the GIF images in the comic section of Iwata just walking back, and there's like nothing but explosions behind him, and it's awesome. Anyways, yeah, so the president's back, and the Wii U is doing better. The 3DS is doing a little worse. And if I read correctly, Nintendo might be making a profit now. Gonna have to check on that. So yeah, that's my news.
Alright, well, in other news, Bayonetta is out, and its reviews are out, and it is the 8th 10 out of 10 in GameSpot history. Wow. Oh yeah, yep. I'm looking forward to playing it. It and the Halo collection came in the same day, and one of them I have to review, one of them I'm playing for fun, and because of my current busy-ass work schedule, I kind of have to prioritize. So, anyway.
Yeah, I've never played the Bayonetta games.
The demo was out on the Wii U, and things that really stood out to me. 1, you can sort of play that game brain dead and still have fun. 2, that game has a ridiculous sense of scale. Like, you talk about, people like to talk about games like, Oblivion, where, oh wow, the world is so huge. Yeah, but there's a difference between making a game big and making it feel big, like games that felt like they were huge. God of War 3 was a good example. Everything just felt colossal.
Oh for good reason. That game, God of War 3 did amazing with scale.
Yeah, and Bayonetta kind of feels that way too, because like the demo is the prologue, and you're starting to fight fighting on top of fighter jets, and you really kind of feel like you are fighting on top of fighter jets, because you could feel like if you fell off that thing, you were in for a 500-foot drop. That was really cool. And yeah, I know you can tell it's a Wii U game, but it's a very beautiful Wii U game. It's like, wow. So, yeah. So, I was already kind of sold on Bayonetta 2 already. The fact that it comes with Bayonetta 1. And the fact that I played the demo and really liked it. It's like, ooh. More, please. I just need to buy it. I don't think I'm going to get to that game until December, though.
Yeah, that game was very much... That game, I'm going to play it as soon as I can, but it is very much a case of, oh man, I don't have enough time for everything I want to do. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to actually getting some more hands-on time than the prologue, but life. Why can someone please invent the 32-hour day?
The problem with the 32-hour day is that if the 32-hour day existed, that means that your lifespan it kind of changes from, say, 70 years to, like, 50 years, because the day is longer, which means your week is longer, which means your years are longer. Yeah. I don't know. Unless you cut days off the end of the year, but then they'll just cram more work to make up for the lost productivity. So... Yeah.
Plus, you can't change when the sun comes up and goes down.
Yeah, you have to slow the rotation of the Earth, and I don't want to get too scientific about here.
All we need to do is get the 7 billion people on Earth to go keep the Earth from spinning. That's all we need to do.
Well, the problem with slowing down Earth's rotation is that your nights are now going to get colder, your days are going to get hotter because the sun's up longer and it's gone longer, which means all the weather patterns are completely screwed up. In addition, there's a lot... if I were to use my sci-fi knowledge, that is probably what's going to happen. So, if you slow down the rotation of the Earth, you're probably looking at some completely screwed up weather patterns. It's amazing how delicate the planet is, how one little variation can just screw everything.
Which is very, very scary when you think about it.
Yeah, here's another fun fact. If Earth didn't have the moon... possible things can happen. 1, the moon does the tides thing, so that's why you have high tide and low tide beaches, because of the moon's gravity, which is pretty cool. I think that without the moon, the Earth's axis, while rotating, would start wobbling out of control, and therefore the weather for sure gets completely screwed in every conceivable way. So no moon means we're completely screwed. So yeah. Crazy.
So you're telling me Dragon Ball Z is inaccurate when Piccolo blows up the moon?
Yeah, because believe it or not, like you think about it, like Earth has gravity, but so does the moon. They're kind of like tugging at each other. Obviously, the Earth has enough of a tug that the moon actually ends up going around Earth instead, I think. But I'm not an astronomer, but if the moon were to blow up, yeah, we would be pretty darn screwed.
Let's hope it doesn't blow up.
Well, at this point, how could it blow up? I mean, the only way I could see the moon blowing up if a meteor crashes into the moon, or someone somewhere has invented tech to laser the moon out of the sky.
That would not be good.
And you would need like a really, really powerful laser to... yeah, you would have to do some ridiculous things to the moon. Currently, the best you can do is just land on it or look at it. Anyways, that's just some...
Well, these nuclear weapons that people are creating are pretty scary.
Yeah, I'd rather not think about that. But, yeah, that's just me and my extremely limited astronomy knowledge right there. Pretty amazing. Anyways, moving forward.
Any other news?
Not really for me, no. I'll do one last check.
I don't have anything else.
Nope.
Oh, so comments and questions from what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
There's only 2 of them, though.
Hold on. Sorry, I didn't have those pulled up already. And those are pulling up. Give it a sec. So, Craig T says Drive Club is amazing. Would be cool if we had an open world like Forza. I've really fallen in love with that new style.
You know what? An open city Drive Club game?
Sounds amazing.
That would get me stoked because I love open city games. Like I'm not like I guess you could say Need for Speed Underground 2 was sort of open city. I love Midtown Madness 1 and 2. My favorite racing game ever is Driver San Francisco, which is an open city driving game. So Drive Club in an open city environment, that's freaking awesome. I would like that. If only it could ever happen.
I've been saying I'd like to see the next Gran Turismo take the open world approach.
They could. The problem is
awesome.
they'll take... Except the problem is that Gran Turismo only focuses on, like, a couple hundred cars and a few tracks, and it takes them forever. So, you do open world, you got forever times 2.
That's very true.
So it's gonna be pretty awesome though. I mean, it's gonna be fun to take like a tiny little Japanese K car and just fling it around. It's like, what does this thing handle like around your average street intersection? That would be fun. But yeah. Gran Turismo, yeah, like in the case of Gran Turismo, they would actually kind of flip out because, oh my goodness, that's some terrible news. Because they would kind of freak out because now they have to simulate dirt and simulate hitting the curb just a little too hard because you know they obsess with suspension tuning, which is amazing. And then now that you add a sidewalk, they're going to be like, well, if you bother hitting that sidewalk, good luck, you're going to lose a wheel. So I'm pretty sure they're going to pay attention to that details. And I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with some stupid mini game that makes absolutely no sense. That isn't even related to cars. Because in Gran Turismo 6, they had the nerve to say, you know what would be great? Let's simulate driving on the moon. Why? And then they'd be like, you know what would even be more dumber?
It was probably someone that used to be with Deep Silver that came up with that idea.
I don't know. It's like, let's simulate driving. And then they came up with the idea where if you had the car and a compatible GPS computer thing, and you somehow were close enough to a racetrack and could afford to fling your car around the racetrack, you can plug in your data into Gran Turismo 6 and watch that car in the game drive how you drove. Which is like, what, only accessible to like 0.001% of the entire population that plays Gran Turismo 6? Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't have a Corvette Z06 that I lap around Mazda Laguna Seca Raceway. I'm sorry, I don't. I just don't. Anyway, so yeah.
All right, next question. J-Sway, I agree that lowering the quality of the game to make them equal is stupid. Hey man, if you think the fucking PS4 crowd is bitching about this, the PC crowd is rioting.
Wait, about what?
You read that question. You read that question really fast.
Oh, you know how they're locking games to 900p?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so...
Oh yeah, that thing where they're locking down the PS4 down to an Xbox One grade game.
Yeah, and what I really love about this is PC gamers are the most butthurt about this because, you know, their ports are getting locked by Ubisoft. But they're the ones who can actually go in, break the game, and make it look as good as it can, like they did with Watch Dogs. Let's see. Anyway, they're doing the same thing with Far Cry 4. So even said during their conference, all games are going to show and look better. What happened to that? Well, I mean, they probably will. They've said Grand Theft Auto is going to be 900p on Xbox versus 1080 on PlayStation. Batman's probably going to look better.
Well, no, what I think he's saying, though, is with Far Cry, with it coming from Ubisoft, do you think they're going to lock that down, too? Because they're doing it with Assassin's Creed.
I don't know. Maybe. It depends.
I hope not. I really hope not. That's... It makes no sense at all. That's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. I ranted about it on that show, but it's just so dumb.
What reason would you have to do that? I mean, it just like... That's like... I mean, like... How do I put this? I know I had an analogy, but... I guess I forgot it. But what boggles my mind is like, what sound reason do you have aside from conspiracy theories? Because it's really easy to think that maybe there was some conspiracy theory out there that simply said somebody paid someone. Maybe
because there's an Xbox One bundle, maybe that's why.
So?
Well, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that that's probably what happened. Microsoft wanted to do a bundle. Well, Ubisoft wanted to do a bundle with Microsoft. They're like, the only reason we're going to do a bundle is if it looks the same on the PlayStation 4. As bad as that sounds.
I'm still a little just...
I just hope it's just Assassin's Creed. Like, I really hope Ubisoft doesn't do this with every game, because I want Far Cry 4 to run on my PlayStation 4 the best it can run on the PlayStation 4.
Like, oh man, I'm just confused. Like, I'm just really confused because.
Hey, look,
I mean, did they start developing?
This is where I'm at the point. If the number one thing you care about is graphics, get a motherfucking PC and put a high-end graphics card in that bitch.
But no, it's the principle behind it, though, that a company is lowering the quality of their game.
You gotta remember the quote they said. You gotta remember the quote they said for doing this was to avoid debates and stuff.
Yeah,
that was their reason.
And stuff being
like, I kind of understand that if you started development on an Xbox One and you ported it up to a PS4, okay,
I understand.
That probably makes some sense because, you know, obviously it started out life as an Xbox One game and you want to quickly get it to run properly on a PS4, but you don't have time to like up-res it to 1080p and testing out for all graphical bugs or anything. Like, maybe that makes some sense, but the thing is that a PS4 is clearly faster than an Xbox One currently. You know, it is. And to avoid debates and stuff, well, that's kind of lame because the world's always going to be constantly fighting over this anyways. You're not doing anything. In fact, you just added more fuel to the fire.
You are just pissing off a bunch of PlayStation fans.
Yeah, you're pissing off the fans who have more market share, which that's not good.
To be honest, though, Ubisoft has had a history of just pissing people off, honestly, because they have this, you know, technical lockdown of sorts now, and back about 8 years ago, they had all this online pass stuff, and then they also had DRM stuff that drove people insane. So, Yeah, they kind of have a history of pissing people off a lot. I honestly don't know. It's like PS4 can look better. Why not just use it?
Yeah,
Like this kind of stuff is just bad publicity. I mean, it's like those who have the Xbox One will buy the Xbox One version. Those who have the PS4 will buy the PS4 version. Done. Simple. You're a third-party publisher. You don't really have much to lose. If anything, just saying that you're going to lock the game down is actually probably going to cost you sales because now everyone's going to think that you're going to do this to all your games and that you're probably bought off by somebody. So, that's not good publicity.
Yeah, like I said, we talked about this. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Extremely dumb.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else before we close it out?
For those of you who missed our Extra Life stream, you can still donate, so please do if you can afford it. I believe it goes until the end of the year, so sick kids, all the money goes straight to them. Not only that, but if you missed any of our stream, it's all archived, so you can miss me break as a person around 6 a.m.
That Dota run was hopeless. That was the most hopeless Dota run I've ever done.
Was it pretty bad?
It was so bad that you had people raging at me because I wouldn't chase after people, and it was like the score was like 0-50, and in any MOBA game, that kind of score, we might as well have just stood around and the outcome would have been the same.
To be fair, I did get 2 kills.
You did get 2 kills in like the last minute and a half, so that was good, I guess.
I delayed their attack on our base.
Why can't we just do League? At least I have a basic concept of how that freaking game works.
The point is to get beat like a redheaded stepchild for the children. Anyway, let's see. What else? our entire stream is archived, so you'll watch that.
Just ignore all the ones that have Civ5 pictures in them because I kind of hit the stream button like 10 times and I archived all 15 trial runs that were only like 30 seconds long.
Yeah,
we had technical problems. It's great.
Yeah, well, I mean, that happened a couple times. We actually were pretty consistent with our stream. Like, other than the fact that we swapped games a shit ton. But the good thing about swapping games a shit ton was, we managed to show a lot of different stuff off. I gotta say, props to GameSpot, who did a 100-hour live stream, and they did 100 games in 100 hours.
That's crazy.
Not only that, the charity as a whole has raised $5.5 million, and it's still going.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's the top teams are KB Mod and the Internet Famous, Rooster Teeth, Giant Bomb, Reddit, and Tryon Worlds. The top fundraisers by themselves are, of course, members of each of those teams. Yeah. I mean, good on all the different people who streamed, good on the gaming community as a whole. Everyone should be, proud. There's no reason not to be like that. That's all of this is for a good cause. All of it makes the gaming community look great. I know the gaming community can look like a bunch of horrible shitbags a lot of the time. But this is one of those times of year where we look pretty fucking awesome. So, anyway, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me too. Alright, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said, sorry for the hiatus. We are back. Please leave your comments and questions. We will be sure to address them on next week's show. Look for the information on the Halo Master Chief Collection stream so you don't miss it. Be sure to check out 60-Minute Access with the Halo Master Chief Collection. We have a lot of content coming, so No one has anything else to say. We are out.